What's up, guys? Today we're unlocking something that almost no one ever talks about, the 7 levels of an introvert's power. Because make no mistake, being introverted isn't about being quiet, it's about control. Control of your mind, your emotions, and your energy. And as we move through these 7 levels, you'll see how introverts evolve. From silent observers to the kind of people who can move an entire room without saying a word. Let's dive straight into the first level. Level 1. The Overthinker. Every introvert begins here, trapped inside their own thoughts. The mind never stops moving. It replays every word you said, every look someone gave, and every moment that felt slightly off. You think deeply, maybe too deeply, about things most people forget in 5 seconds. But here's the truth. This level isn't weakness. It's raw, unshaped intelligence. Your brain is running faster than the world around you. It just hasn't learned where to aim yet. The overthinker feels misunderstood because their silence is a storm. They don't speak much because they're busy analyzing 10 possible outcomes before finishing one sentence. It's exhausting, but it's also power, untamed power. When used right, this overthinking turns into foresight, empathy, and emotional awareness. Right now, though, that power feels more like chaos than control. It's like holding lightning with bare hands. Brilliant, but painful. The goal isn't to stop thinking, it's to focus thinking. Once the overthinker learns to direct that storm, instead of drowning in it, everything changes. Because at the end of this level, you realize something powerful. Your thoughts aren't the enemy, they're the weapon. You just haven't learned to aim yet. Level 2. The Observer. At this level, the chaos inside your mind begins to quiet down. The overthinker stops reacting to everything and starts watching instead. You realize that silence can do something that words can't. It reveals people. When you stop trying to be heard, you start to see. You notice small details others miss. The way someone's voice changes when they lie. The way confidence fades when they're unsure. The energy in a room before anyone speaks. The observer understands that power isn't in talking, it's in noticing. Every conversation becomes a classroom. Every silence a lesson. You're no longer overwhelmed by thoughts. You're collecting information. You learn that staying quiet doesn't mean being invisible. It means being strategic. People start underestimating you, thinking you're shy or slow to respond. But in reality, you're studying patterns, habits, and weaknesses. You're learning how the world moves before you make your next move. At this stage, your silence becomes sharper than words. Observation gives you knowledge, and knowledge turns into control. The world still sees you as quiet, and that's perfect, because the loudest person in the room rarely realizes that the quiet one already knows everything. Level 3. The Analyst. This is the level where watching turns into understanding. The observer no longer just sees, they decode. The analyst starts connecting patterns, noticing how people think, react, and make choices. You begin to see through words and understand intentions. You know what someone will do before they even realize it themselves. This is quiet power, the kind that doesn't need attention to control a situation. At this level, introverts turn their awareness into strategy. You start predicting outcomes, preparing your next move while others are still reacting. You don't need to speak much because your silence now has purpose. Every pause you take makes people reveal more about themselves. You realize that emotions and logic aren't enemies. They're tools, and you're learning how to use both. The analyst rarely argues because they don't need to. They already know how the story ends. They can read a room, sense danger, and understand motives with almost surgical precision. This level feels calm but powerful. You've stopped trying to prove anything. You've started to calculate everything. And once you master this balance of logic and instinct, you're no longer guessing how life works. You're quietly starting to shape it. Level 4. The Strategist. At this level, silence turns into a weapon. The strategist no longer speaks just to fill space. Every word has purpose. Every action has timing. You've moved beyond understanding people to guiding outcomes. You've learned that not reacting is often the smartest reaction. The strategist doesn't waste energy proving they're right. They focus on winning quietly. You start planning instead of guessing. You prepare before anyone else even notices there's a problem. You use your calm to unsettle others because your stillness makes them nervous. People mistake it for indifference, but in reality, it's focus. You see 5 steps ahead while everyone else is still deciding what to do first. At this stage, emotion no longer controls you. You control it. Your energy goes where it matters most. You're selective with people, conversations, and effort. You understand that attention is currency, and you spend it wisely. The strategist knows when to disappear and when to strike. You no longer chase opportunities, you create them. And when you do act, it's so precise that people call it luck. But you know better. You've learned that power isn't about noise. It's about knowing exactly when to move and when to stay still. Level 5. The Executor. At this level, thought finally becomes action. The Executor no longer spends endless hours planning or replaying ideas. They move. This is where an introvert's quiet confidence turns into unstoppable momentum. You stop waiting for perfect timing and start creating it. Every decision is careful, but it's not delayed. You've learned that progress doesn't need to be loud, it just needs to be consistent. The Executor works in silence, building results while others are still talking about what they'll do someday. You don't announce your goals because you understand one truth. Energy is wasted when you explain yourself to people who don't get it. You let your actions speak. You know what you want, why you want it, and how to get there without noise. At this stage, people start noticing your growth, but they can't explain it. You've become the quiet force that moves faster than anyone expects. Every win looks effortless, but only you know how much discipline it took. The Executor doesn't chase validation or applause. They focus on execution, and that's what separates them from dreamers. Because at this level, silence isn't just power. It's proof that you're already becoming who you were meant to be. Level 6. The Influencer. At this level, your quiet power starts changing the world around you. You no longer chase attention. Attention finds you. People start listening when you speak, not because you talk often, but because every word carries weight. Your calmness influences others. Your silence sets the tone. You've mastered yourself so deeply that others naturally follow your rhythm without realizing it. The influencer doesn't demand respect. They attract it. You lead through presence, not performance. People trust you because you bring clarity where others bring chaos. Your energy feels safe, grounded, and real. You've learned that true influence isn't about controlling people. It's about inspiring them to control themselves. At this stage, your thoughts become contagious. Your habits, your patience, your discipline, they all begin to ripple outward. People copy your mindset because it works. You've stopped trying to fit in, and now others adjust to fit around you. This level isn't about fame or followers. It's about impact. You've become the calm in the storm, the voice that cuts through noise. The influencer doesn't talk to impress. They speak to guide. And when they do, the whole room shifts. Quietly, but completely. Level 7. The Transcendent. This is the final level, where silence becomes strength and solitude becomes peace. The transcendent introvert no longer needs to prove, explain, or compete. You've mastered your emotions, your reactions, and your mind. The noise of the world doesn't touch you anymore. You understand that real power isn't about control. It's about freedom. Freedom from needing validation, comparison, or attention. At this level, you move differently. You don't chase anything. You attract everything that matches your energy. People can feel your presence before you speak. There's calm in your eyes and certainty in your silence. You've learned that peace is louder than confidence and stillness stronger than any argument. The Transcendent doesn't seek revenge, recognition, or approval. You've already won the hardest battle, the one within yourself. You use your mind like a tool, your emotions like a compass, and your words like medicine. At this stage, you influence without effort. You heal by existing. You no longer act from ego, but from purpose. The transcendent introvert isn't trying to be powerful. They are power itself, because once you master your inner world, nothing in the outer world can ever shake you again. And there you have it, the 7 levels of an introvert's power. From the overthinker trapped in their own head, to the transcendent mind that shapes reality without noise. Introverts aren't shy. They're focused. They're not weak. They're patient. Every level is a lesson in control of thought, emotion, and energy. The louder the world becomes, the more unstoppable these quiet minds grow. So here's the question: which level are you on? And how far are you willing to go? Subscribe